So you want to know what actually makes someone ready to buy. Because in truth, people don't become ready to buy when you sell to them. They become ready to buy long before the pitch. When your brand creates the meaning, belief, and context that tells their brain, oh, she's the one. If people aren't buying, it's not that your brand is broken. It's that your brand isn't properly preparing them. This episode is all about clarity. Not visual clarity, not aesthetic clarity, but decision-making clarity. The kind of clarity that shapes perception, builds trust, and primes your audience to say yes the moment they enter into your funnel. Because brand clarity isn't how you get noticed. Brand clarity is how you get chosen. You're listening to the From Scratch podcast, the podcast for bold entrepreneurs who are done with cookie cutter advice, done with burnout, and done with building businesses that don't actually feel good. I'm your host, Kary, a near $1 million course creator, brand strategist, and business coach for women who are ready to do it differently. 7 years ago, I hit a level of success and still ended up crying on the bathroom floor. So trust me when I say starting from scratch isn't about starting over. It's about taking your power back and rebuilding on your own terms. Every week, you'll get unfiltered stories, bold strategies, and the mindset shifts you need to build with soul, sell with strategy, and grow something that feels like you. So let's get into it. I'll be honest, I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, before this podcast was even a glimmer in my mind, I had a brand that everyone liked. People loved my content. My visuals were curated. My captions were thoughtful. My Instagram looked polished and professional. What was there not to love? But behind the scenes, no one was buying. I remember thinking, how can something that looks this good not work? And the answer was simple. I was building a brand that people admired, not a brand that people understood. People liked me, but they didn't know what I did. They didn't understand the transformation I offered. They couldn't articulate my value. And when people can't articulate your value, they can't act on it. The moment I clarified what I was known for, when I sharpened my message, simplified my positioning, and made my value unmistakable, my entire business shifted. People who had been quietly watching for months became buyers, not because I suddenly became more qualified, but because they finally understood how I could help them. That's the moment I realized brand clarity isn't just branding, it's sales psychology. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. Clarity shift number 1. From here's what I do to here's the role I play in your life. If you take nothing else from this episode, take this. People don't buy because they know what you do. They buy because they understand who you are to them. In sales psychology, this is called context assignment. The brain doesn't make decisions in a vacuum. It organizes people into roles. This is my go-to person too. This is who I trust when. This is who I turn to for. If your brand doesn't assign itself a role, your audience will assign one for you. And 9 times out of 10, it will be the wrong one. She's inspiring. She's relatable. She's fun to watch. None of those roles lead to sales. In fact, one of the biggest reasons people don't buy is because the creator has accidentally branded themselves as the friend instead of the leader, the motivator instead of the mentor. But being liked won't make you money. Being understood will. When your brand communicates a clear role, your audience instantly knows how to categorize, and trusted categorization speeds up decision-making. One of my students had niche messaging, but no assigned role. She talked about burnout, routines, motherhood, systems, a little bit of everything. All good, all helpful, but her audience didn't know what she was. A strategist, a coach, a content creator, a friend. Once she claimed the role, I'm the business strategist who helps women grow without burnout, and then made sure that that was evident through every touch point her audience had with her, her audience instantly reorganized that role she played in their lives, and sales followed quickly. So here's your move. Say this out loud. In my audience's life, I am the fill in that blank. Not what you sell, not what you teach, but the role you occupy. If you can't articulate that role, your audience definitely can't. And unclear roles never create buyer readiness. Clarity shift number 2. From what I sell to why it works, specifically for you. Here's a counterintuitive truth. Most people do trust you. They just don't trust their ability to get results with you. Most creators think if they like my offer, they'll buy. But buyers think if I feel confident in the process, I'll buy. This is why brand clarity requires making your transformation visible. Not because people need more details, but because people need predictability. The brain loves predictability. Predictability equals safety. Safety equals readiness. A clear transformation eliminates the I don't know if this will work for me fear that silently kills conversions. And here's what most entrepreneurs get wrong. They obsess over describing the benefits of their offer, but never articulating the personal transformation that it provides. Benefits inspire, transformations convert. Your offer doesn't sell because it sounds good. It sells because your brand communicates, here's why this works, and here's why it will work for you. Look, my student was brilliant. She had results, she had receipts, she had the content, but she didn't have a clear transformation. People knew she was smart. They just didn't know how she created the life they desired. And when the how is unclear, the brain assumes it's risky, and no one wants to take that risk. So once we named her method, clarified her transformation, and repeated that transformation consistently across her entire brand, she had the highest sales month she's ever had without changing her offer. So here's your move. Break down your transformation into one desired reality. What your audience needs to know is possible for them. Name it, own it, and repeat it in your bio, content, lead magnet, workshop, email sequence. Clarity is not repetition fatigue. It's reputation building. Your transformation is your brand's proof of predictability, and predictable brands sell. Clarity shift number 3. From I help everyone to I help this version of you. This is the shift most entrepreneurs avoid because it feels limiting, but it's the shift that multiplies conversions. People don't buy because of your offer. They buy because your offer reflects the identity they want to step into. It's called identity-based positioning. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives buying. When your brand speaks to a general audience, it's safe, but safe doesn't sell. When your brand speaks to a specific version of your audience, now people feel seen, people feel chosen, and chosen people buy quickly. You're not narrowing your audience, you're sharpening their self-recognition. Identity clarity eliminates hesitation because it answers the question buyers care about most. Is this for someone like me? The moment I shifted from helping entrepreneurs to helping women entrepreneurs build businesses that feel like freedom instead of pressure, my engagement didn't just increase, it became magnetic. People weren't just consuming, they were recognizing themselves inside of my brand. Identity-based clarity is why people binged my content, entered my funnels, and bought my programs without needing to be convinced. So here's your move. Fill in this sentence. I help the version of you who is ready to insert your answer. Not I help women, not I help coaches, not I help people. Identity creates intimacy. Intimacy creates readiness. Readiness creates sales. Brand clarity is the difference between being followed and being hired, between being admired and being paid, between being visible and being in demand. Because clarity shapes perception. Perception shapes belief. Belief shapes readiness. And readiness shapes sales. So if you're listening to this and thinking, Kary, this is the shift I've been missing, then your next step is to take my magnetic brand workshop. Because here's the truth. Every unclear brand pays the same tax. You lose people who would have bought if they understood you sooner. Inside this free training, I'm showing you how to stop trying to be everything to everyone and spotlight what makes you unique and different. How to craft a message that not only addresses needs, but builds real and profitable connections. And how to embrace the power of your real, authentic journey and share what makes you impossible to ignore. If you skip this training, nothing changes. You'll keep showing up, you'll keep working hard, you'll keep posting, but without the clarity that creates readiness, you'll keep watching potential buyers slip through your fingers. Clarity is what makes people buy from you before you ever sell a single thing. So go to karyperry.com/brand-workshop or click the link below, and let's build that clarity together.